day, everyone. Today, I'm going to discuss about one of the issues of curriculum, which is teaching in an overcrowded classroom. This presentation will cover the background of the issue, why this is considered an issue, the theoretical framework, and some recommendations to tackle this issue. Let's learn more about the background of this issue. Article 2, Section 17 of the 1987 Constitution provides the state shall give priority to education, science and technology, arts, culture, and sports to foster patriotism and nationalism, accelerate social progress, and promote total liberation and development. In the same sense, Article 14, Section 1 of the Constitution further affirms the state shall protect and promote the right of all citizens to quality education at all levels and shall take appropriate steps to make such education accessible to all. From these state principles approved in the Constitution, the state recognizes the vital role of quality education in nation building through the creation of a more responsible, skilled, and literate citizenry. To achieve such ends, the state must ensure that existing facilities and learning spaces that are used by our young learners are conducive to quality learning. However, the classrooms in the Philippines remain one of the most crowded in the region. As stated in the mandate introduced by Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago during the 16th Congress of the Philippines in 2013, data from the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization reported that classrooms in the Philippines are the most crowded in Asia. The country's public elementary schools' average class size of 43.9 is far bigger than Malaysia's 31.7, Thailand's 22.9, Japan's 28.6, and India's 40. In public secondary schools, the country registered an average size of 56.1, higher than Malaysia's 34, Thailand's 41.5, Japan's 33.9, and India's 39. This pushed the Senate to pass an act titled Public School Class Size Law of 2013, regulating class size in all public elementary and secondary schools and prescribing additional compensation for teachers handling large classes. The standard class size in all public elementary and secondary schools in the Philippines should have 35 or less students. During the 17th Congress of the Philippines in 2018, they reduced the public school standard class size. The Standard Class Size for Public Schools Act seeks to institutionalize an ideal class size of no more than 30 students. Any class exceeding 30 students up to a maximum of 45 students shall be considered a large class and prohibits class size of more than 45 students. It is clear that teaching in overcrowded classrooms is an issue of curriculum. Let's find out why. Overcrowding has a variety of disruptive consequences for learner behavior. For example, learners cannot pay attention or participate at the required level of intensity because classmates are noisy and restive, with the result that academic achievement is negatively affected. Furthermore, learners cannot rely on individual care from teachers, particularly in instances where learners need extra support because high pupil to teacher ratio minimizes possibilities of individual teacher attention to the students. INTAS as well as Kumalo and G agree that overcrowded classrooms are unsupportive learning environments and may even affect the learner's physical health. They point out that overcrowded classrooms are unhygienic because if one learner has a contagious infection, then others can be easily infected. Moreover, learners need space between them when they answer tests, and if they don't have enough space, they may be able to copy information from one another. Therefore, learners may move to higher grades without the necessary foundation that must be laid in each lower grade. Ultimately, this catches up with these learners in the higher levels. This is a possible explanation for poor matriculation results in overcrowded classrooms. Teaching in overcrowded classrooms is a global challenge, not just in the Philippines. Research reveals that a major source of stress and burnout among teachers in Zimbabwe and in Ghana are classrooms that are severely overcrowded. Since 2004, overcrowding in classrooms in Nigeria has become so common, which is not conducive for effective teaching and learning, and where a sound teacher or learner relationship has become impossible. Furthermore, research conducted by Drame and Kamphoff revealed that the average class sizes in Senegal are between 50 to 60 learners per classroom, where learners are cramped together, which makes classrooms inaccessible for those learners with orthopedic disabilities. This means that overcrowded classrooms are also problematic for learners with attention or behavioral difficulties, as well as vision and hearing impairments. The theoretical foundations applied in this presentation are based on the constructivist learning theory and the social cognitive theory proposed by the developmental psychologists and philosophers Jean Piaget and Albert Bandura. According to constructivism, learning is a dynamic and active process of constructing meaning and transforming self constructed understanding in interaction with the environment. A smaller class size allows teachers to devote more time to instruction and quality classroom activities. It also paves the way for an increase in student achievement, fewer discipline problems, and improvement in teacher morale and retention. It is easier for teachers to identify and solve student problems when the classroom is not overcrowded. Social cognitive theory by Albert Bandura is a learning theory based on the ideas that people learn by observing others. Vicarious learning, or the process of learning from other people's behavior, is a central idea of social cognitive theory and self efficacy. Bandura proposed that human learning is a continuous reciprocal interaction of cognitive, behavioral, and environmental factors. Fewer students in a classroom would mean more interaction among their classmates and teachers. Upon studying the effects of overcrowded classrooms, what are some recommendations that can help overcome this issue? The learning environment ought to support learners' motivation to participate in group or individual learning activities. When learners are placed in classes with small numbers, they are more involved and academic achievement increases. This is supported by Ikediashki and Amechi, who point out that lower teacher-learner ratios result in higher quality education. These authors came to this conclusion after research conducted in Nigerian primary schools. In overcrowded classrooms, less attention can be given to individual learners, and it is difficult to motivate them. Overcrowded classrooms tend to be teacher centered. Teachers react and learning is passive, with the result that learners may lose motivation. Policymakers and school boards should monitor overcrowding in schools, specifically noting the number of students per teacher, as increased student teacher ratios can negatively impact student academic performance. Here are the references for this presentation. Thank you for listening to this report, and I hope you've learned a lot from this video.